It was a wild day of elimination and exuberation for certain drivers in Indianapolis in the Indy 250 Fast 9 and Last 9 qualifying sessions. But today, we run the first official race on this great speedway, and it's the BodyArmor Pro Series, finishing out the in-season tournament here this evening at the greatest racetrack in the world. 25 laps await these 24 drivers for the 10th race of the season, and it's defending Indy 250 champion Audra Baranauskas going up against Logan Williams for the in-season tournament title and $25. This is the Indy 100k, one of the biggest races of the season here in the 2025 BodyArmor Pro Series. Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway here during Indy 250 week. We're only 6 days away from the big race, the Indianapolis 250, this Saturday at noon Eastern Time. Today we run the first race here on the Speedway. We've had a lot of qualifying and practice for the Indy cars, but we got some stock cars here for the 10th race of the season in the BodyArmor Pro Series. This is a big race to win, of course. This is the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, one of the crown jewels in racing in the world. The crown jewel, if you ask me. The greatest racetrack in the world, in my humble opinion. We're here today for the 10th race of the season and to crown a champion in the in-season tournament. Logan Williams and Audra Baranauskas have clawed their way through the past 3 weeks to get to this point, and they're going to go after whoever finishes highest between Baranauskas and Williams wins it. And Baranauskas has a huge advantage, starting 8th here today, while Logan Williams is all the way in the back in 24th. Joined alongside Eddie Debs and a very special guest, and Josh Williamson. And Josh, I'm going to start off with you. This is a racetrack, it's a very huge race to win here in the BodyArmor Pro Series, a very special place to win. What are these drivers going to do to make sure they get to victory lane and kiss the bricks here today in this Indy 100k?
Well, this being a flatter racetrack and a narrower racetrack than it was pre-1992, it's more difficult to pass than it would be otherwise. There is no runoff area on the inside where the drivers could cut the apex of the corner, so it's going to be very difficult to pass. It always is fairly difficult to pass here at Indianapolis, but that doesn't mean it's impossible. You usually got to do it on that inside. That doesn't mean you can't hold off guys on the outside on corner exit. We've seen some guys be able to do it, but you just got to stay out of trouble, and we could have some early trouble in this race. Sometimes it happens here at Indianapolis, sometimes it doesn't, but just keep your nose clean, stick to the grippy parts of the racetrack, and keep your cool. Be patient. We've got 25 laps here, no pit stops, nothing to worry about. Just wheel your race car. That's all you got to worry about.
And Eddie, that's how 22 drivers have to feel, but there are two other drivers that have a little bit more of an extra stake in this race here today. That's Audra Baranauskas and Logan Williams, and Logan Williams in particular starts all the way back in last. What does he need to do to have an opportunity at winning this in-season tournament here today at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, considering he's going to work his way all the way through the field to have an opportunity at winning this tournament here today?
I think it's not going to be simple. I was about to say that, but it's not going to be, and it's not going to be easy either. I feel like what he's got to do is just, we know he has a good car. He's one of the championship favorites so far. I would assume he knows how to drive it at this point. I would say he's just got to either let people make mistakes or force them into doing so. I wouldn't caution against being aggressive at this point, but I don't know how far Audra's going to fall back on that outside lane, and it would be rather easy for Logan to get to the inside, but he might have to start, getting under some people in order to get up to Audra. So I'd imagine what he has to do is probably say being conservative is not going to win you $25, and he's got to start bumping people around and into corners and stuff just to give himself at least a chance. I would imagine that car is more aggressive than most of the other cars on the grid today, but at this point, everyone's trying to be aggressive to beat Blaine Keys. I just don't know how far you want to go with that extra aggression before it turns into you accidentally turning someone and getting someone yelling at you at the garage.
Well, we'll have to see how aggressive he is in this race here today, and of course we'll have to see how aggressive he is on Saturday. And I think for some of the drivers in this field who are running in that Indianapolis 250, this is, in a way, a bit of a test session for that race. Of course, they do have another practice on Friday, but these guys actually get to race for the first time and actually get a simulation of a race in before they get to the big race on Saturday. Though these cars are very different than what we'll see on Saturday. These guys probably go about 40 miles per hour on average slower around this place than what we'll see on Saturday, but that does not mean this race will not be anywhere near as not entertaining. I don't know what I'm saying. It's going to be a fun race. I'm looking forward to this one. This is a great racetrack, and this is a big race to win. This is the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and the BodyArmor Pro Series is here for their 10th race of the season. This is how they line up in the championship standings. Blaine Keys, still the points leader. 19 points on Logan Williams. He's got a bit of an advantage on him in this one as Blaine starts 5th and Logan's all the way in the back. But how about Stuart Gratton? Winner last week at Hillside, and he got the fastest lap in that race as well, which granted him the pole for here at Indianapolis. It's a huge deal there for Stuart Gratton and his attempts to move up in the championship. He's only 39 points behind. Rogel Dorn, two-time winner this season, only 52 points behind, even though he's only pointed in 3 of the 9 races so far. And Matt Tuck, 54 points behind winner in Aguas Calientes earlier this season, sits there 5th in the standings. It is Stuart Gratton and Indiana native Nathan Stapleton on the outside lane. And I can't remember for the life of me if Stapleton has ever actually won here at Indianapolis as a driver. I don't know if he has. This would be a huge win for Nathan if he could pull it off here, with this being his home racetrack. Justin Zeidel, this would be a huge win for Justin, starting there in the 3rd position, a driver who's going to be in the Indy 250 on Saturday, alongside Ace Garcia, who was also going to be in that Indy 250. They make up row number 2. It's Blaine Keys and Matthew Hubert in row number 3. Ludovic Charette, and in-season tournament champion, possible champion, I should say, Audra Baranauskas in the 1. All she needs to do is beat Logan Williams if she's going to win the in-season tournament. You got Juan Romero and Matt Tuck there in row number 5. Two-time Indy 250 champion Nicholas Sambadio in this race starting 11th. Get all the way to the back of the field right there. You see Logan Williams in the 83 machine, starting all the way back in 24th. Let's go ahead and get these drivers to roll off here on this Monday evening in the Indy 100k in the BodyArmor Pro Series. Well, Josh and then Eddie, going to give you guys a chance to pick not only the winner of this race here in this Indy 100k, but the winner of the in-season tournament as well, between Audra Baranauskas and Logan Williams.
Well, I'm going to start with the pick to win the race, and I'm only going to go 2 rows back. I'm counting on limited passing, as we've seen pass at Indianapolis up front, and I'm pretty sure the last time I called a race on your channel here at Indianapolis, the winner, Dustin Davis, started from this position, if my mind serves me right. So I'm going with the Blaine plane. Blaine Keys there in car number 14. And to win the in-season tournament, I'm only going to go a row back there on the outside. Audra Baranauskas, the 12th seed coming into the tournament, knocked off the number 1 seed Blaine Keys last week. Let's see what they can get done here at Indianapolis.
No, I'm not surprised that me and Josh would fully agree on something, because I'm going with the exact same picks. I think this isn't, no race at this point is ever desperation mode for Blaine Keys, but I think seeing Logan Williams all the way back in 2014, he's going to want to push it, and I think if he wants to, he's going to return to form and make everyone scared of another stretch of dominance. I think he's probably best for winning this one. And then, yeah, something about 12 seeds in March Madness that always think they're, I don't know, they're always just the upset heavy team, and I think Audra may have taken that energy into the in-season tournament, and hey, really good spot. I'm always going to cheer for David against Goliath, so this would be fun if he ended up getting the $25.
Well, William Brock, I'm sure, would love to get the $25 as well. That's his driver, Audra Baranauskas, 2-time Indy 250 champion. I don't know if it's much of a David versus Goliath in that sense when it comes to Baranauskas and Logan Williams. And Josh, pulling back the 2021 NOFSRL National Series reference that I had no memory in my head until we did that race. That's pretty cool. Great to have you back in the booth, man. You know some cool stuff back in there. Well, hey, it's Indianapolis. It's Stuart Gratton and Nathan Stapleton. It's the BodyArmor Pro Series on a Monday night once again. Here we go for the Indy 100k. Well, Stuart Grattan will lead lap number 1. Great start to the race for both of the GRT cars right there. And that is the Velocity car and Nathan Stapleton and the Grattan Autosport car officially there of Stuart Grattan leading this field. Blaine Keys up to 3rd. Ludovic Charette is up to 4th, excuse me. And it's Ace Garcia taking the 5th position away from Justin Zeidel, who's slipping back from the 86 outside lane. Did not get going there. And we're going to have to see how it ends up shaking out for this 86 as this race moves along. That inside lane definitely had an advantage. Juan Romero taking 6th away from Zeidel. Here comes Nicholas Samadeo. He'll get some points here in the series. He's 13th, has not had the best of seasons. He's up to the 7th position. Matthew Hubert trying to get around Zeidel as well. But to your point there, Josh, we see a lot of these guys spread out a lot, especially in the stock cars, and these two have pulled away significantly. Both Stuart Grattan and Nathan Stapleton out by a significant margin here on lap number 3. And for the race lead.
With these two battling now, Stapleton to the inside of Grattan. That's going to reel the 14 of Blake Keys back in. That's exactly what he's looking to see. See him already closing in through the short chute as Stapleton, the Indiana native, goes to the race lead. And here comes the Blaine Plane down to the inside, taking a peek. He'll pull back in line behind Stuart Grattan for the moment. But with them having singled out, it stopped the bleeding, at least for the moment, for Audra Baranauskas, who got to inside in the tail end of lap number 1. They're just in front of the 46, as now the 46 goes to the inside in the north chute. And looking for the 83 of Logan Williams. There he is on the outside line right now, slipping back. There's still plenty of race left. Things can change, but Logan's definitely not having the best start so far here in Speedway, Indiana.
Of course, Logan's actually going to have an opportunity, especially if he gets to that inside. Baranauskas is slipping back in that one machine, just got passed by Leonard Kochmer right there in the 46. So it looks like it could be a non-points day for all those guys going through the tournament. We'll see if that ends up being the case. Stewart just got passed by Blaine Keys, and now he's getting passed by Ludovic Charette, Ace Garcia, Nicholas Samadeo. All have a run to the inside of Stuart Grattan right here, and Stewart now with a good run so far in this race, but Nathan Stapleton trying to pull away in this 63 machine. And what a win it would be for Stapleton if he can, in fact, pull it off here today. Now, if you remember this race last year, we had some guys who came down the pit lane and some guys who didn't. We're not going to have that issue this year. All these guys are going to be good to go to the end of the race without a pit stop. And that's what makes this race so much more crucial if you start up front versus if you don't. Because if this race goes caution-free, it's going to be hard to work your way from the back to the front. And that is the case for Logan Williams in his attempt to catch up to Audra Baranauskas here in 21 laps. But Stapleton still out front in the 63 by half a second on Blaine Keys, and then it's 1.7 seconds back to Ludovic Charette, who currently runs in the 3rd position.
Stuart Grattan's got to be kicking himself. He had the pole position. Blaine was a couple years behind, and I don't know what happened to him because he just seemed to lose a little bit. Now he's at least behind Ludovic, so he can hope to get back using some form of a train, but at this point, like, you were ahead of Blaine Keys to start a race. You had to hope that you would get points, and now you're just stuck here. He's going for the pass on Ludovic. I don't know what he's cooking up, but we're going to have to see what Stewart has planned just to make sure he doesn't lose some points to Blaine Keys today, because Blaine is definitely on his ringer and is probably looking at another podium finish, if not the win. Although Nicholas Samadeo is up here now. Living Legend is
Three wide as well.
What the heck,
baby?
guys?
That was Hubert, Zeidel, and Ace Garcia, and Hubert was smart enough to back out of it right there in the 15 machine. It's not been a good season for Matthew Hubert in the Pro Series, nor really in the Cup Series either. 18th in the standings right now, but he doesn't even have a race win worth of points yet, 9 races into the season. This guy is definitely getting squirrely off the exit of turn 3 through the short chutes here, and Baranauskas actually moving her way back up through the field here, and Logan Williams kind of stuck behind Thomas Troxel in the back of the field, so it's looking better and better for Baranauskas, but she just got stuck on the outside by Drew Webb right there. Not necessarily the place you want to be. Samadeo had a good run there, and then got shuffled on the outside with Ludovic pushing her way to the inside of Nicholas Samadeo and taking that spot away. These guys keep on battling as Stapleton and Keys pull away by 2 seconds on the field right now. And Blaine Keys looking for win number 30 on the channel here today. What a special place for it to happen, if it can happen here today in this Indy 100k.
And right now they have such a cushion over 3rd place Stuart Grattan that they don't even really have to worry that much about the gap closing if they start battling. Meanwhile, all of the chicanery happening behind. There's Logan Williams just 2 spots on the inside line behind. Rival for the in-season tournament, Audra Baranauskas slings to the outside, trying to get some off of car number 94. That is LJ Sameto on the outside of the racetrack, and now he might be in trouble with cars diving in on the inside. There is the 88 car of Isaac Nichols? Yes, it is. Tucking in behind the 83 of Logan Williams. He gets back down to the inside. And where in the world is Audra Baranauskas? There it is, the Delta Chevrolet, just in front of the 4 of Rogel Dorn. Dorn, is he going to take a look heading into turn number 3? Nope, stays right in line behind Audra Baranauskas. Meanwhile, the gap for the lead, 0.35 seconds the last time through. It is Stapleton, the Indiana native, still leading here at the greatest racetrack in the world.
And it's now lap 9 of 25 here in the Indy 100k. These two guys have pulled away significantly on the rest of the field. Stewart has solidified himself in the 3rd position, and it's Ludovic Charette and Nicholas Samadeo out about this top 5. I mean, they are some of the best drivers that we have on the channel right here. Justin Zeidel in the 6th position. Great run for Justin. It has not been a good season for him, especially in the Wawa Cup Series. Not really much to really be said here in the Pro Series either, but this is a special place for Justin, and he's looking to have a great run on Saturday in the Indy 250. He's going to be starting in the top 10 for that race. We'll see what he can do here as this race continues on. Not even halfway yet through this Indy 100k. Matthew Hubert is 7th. Juan Romero in the 8th position. Great job for Juan Romero holding on to his top 10 run right now. And then you had Leonard Kochmer there taking the 9th position away from Vinny Scholes, and Audra Baranauskas just on the outside of the top 10 right here, trying to pull away from Logan Williams, which she is doing a great job of right now, as Williams got shuffled out of line back in there and is still struggling in this 83 machine, trying to work his way through the field. It's a very different type of race here today than what we're going to see on Saturday. And these guys, as you can tell, go much slower than the Indy cars do, but it's still a very fascinating race, and all these guys battling for 3rd has allowed Stapleton and Keys to just pull away with this thing here about a third of the way through this Indy 100k.
It's been really interesting seeing the last couple of laps in terms of the interval between Stapleton and Keys, because Keys and Stapleton, it's been around, 0.2 to 0.4 of a second. It hasn't been inside or outside of that. So Keys, I think, is getting runs off the outside lane. We're going to see what it goes by down here. Oh, he lost time. That's really interesting, as Stuart Gradden gets put to the outside by a train led by Ludovic Charette. That's not going to make him very happy. It's really interesting. It seems like these packs just form up and then suddenly out of nowhere, disappear. And again, it looked like Audra might be cycled out and Logan might actually have a chance at the lead, and then suddenly, I don't know, bada bing, bada boom, he gets shuffled all the way to the back now, 23rd. It is interesting. Indianapolis is just that type of track where weird things can happen. And right now, Audra is in a really good spot. Stuart Gradden isn't, and we're going to have to see how the times go by to see if he's gained anything on Nathan Stapleton. I would imagine he did 0.2. It is staying in an interval, but Keys is going to need a lot of good laps, or a lot of good turns at this point to get to Stapleton, and he might be doing so right now as soon as I say that. So.
And we're going to have to see what Blaine can do right here, because if these guys get side by side, and I don't know if these guys are 3.5 seconds behind the top 2 right now, if they're really going to have an opportunity. I think guys like Charette and Samadeo, Zeidel, they're hoping for a caution to come out and have an opportunity at this race win, but Blaine Keys is coming in this 14 machine, looking at his 4th win of the season, looking to get his 30th career win on the channel, and that is not where you want to make that move. Inside of turn 4 is a very difficult place, and you see Stapleton was able to keep it in the gas at a much better rate than Blaine Keys that time. The 63 able to hold him off as we're halfway through the Indy 100k here in Indianapolis. Blaine Keys going to lose a lot of time right there to Stapleton as these guys continue the battle. Samadeo on the back bumper, Ludovic Charette for that 3rd position. Of course, each one of these positions means a lot of points as the season rolls along. And if you're guys like Samadeo and Charette who have fallen a little bit further back in the field, of course, granted, Charette's had a pretty good string of runs as of late in that num 00 machine. She's got another good run going for her right now, but she is still yet to win a race on the channel all calendar year. And she's 3rd. She's close, but still not close enough to Blaine Keys and Nathan Stapleton have a shot at this moment. Matthew Hubert going for the 5th position on Justin Zeidel. but trying it on the inside of turn number 4 is not the place you want to do that. And Zeidel's going to be able to hold on to that 5th position. Leonard Koshmer up now to get around Juan Romero right here, up to the 8th position for the driver, the number 46. A great run for Leonard Koshmer there. And he's going to be able to hold on to that one as Romero falls to 9th. Rogodorin in the top 10 right now in the 4 machine. Audra Baranauskas with a comfortable lead in the in-season tournament on Logan Williams. And Logan Williams had a shot at closing in. He slipped back, and unless something drastic happens in this race, it's looking pretty good for Audra Baranauskas to win this in-season tournament here today at Indianapolis.
No doubt about that. Sitting comfortably in the 12th position there behind the 10 of Thomas Troxel, making her way through the northwest turn 4, down Gasoline Alley on the front straightaway. And to talk about the battle for the lead that we've seen so far, going back to that Turkey Hill Series race that I referenced in the opening, the opening of the race was dominated by Audra Baranauskas, who started on the pole position. The outside driver on the start was Joshua Harrison. Well, Joshua Harrison came out in the front after a pit cycle, and then who came along again? Dustin Davis took the lead with 2 laps to go in that race and held on to it until the end. Well, we're not going to have a pit cycle today, but those tires are absolutely going to wear. And I'm wondering if Stapleton is just manhandling his tires, shredding them to bits, and Keys is just sitting there waiting. He's waiting, biding his time, as now we have 10 laps to go. Watch for Keys. He's waiting. I'm telling you, he's waiting to make his move.
We'll see if these drivers can make a move as well. If they stay single file, they might have an opportunity, especially if these two go side by side. But it's 3.5 seconds at this point for Ludovic Charette, who currently leads this pack in the 3rd position. Nicolas Amadio, Justin Zeidel, Matthew Hubert, Stuart Gratton has fallen back to 7th. And Leonard Koshmer in the 8th position. Rogodorin moving his way up to 9th now in the 4 machine. And Baranauskas still very much ahead of Logan Williams, who's still stuck in the back. Going around Matt Tuck, LJ Smith. Matt Tuck won the Brickyard 400 last year, so kind of a surprise to see him struggle as much as he has in this Indy 100k after winning one of the bigger races in the Wall Cup Series last year. They're going to shuffle out again, and Logan Williams might be under fire from Drew Webb again if he's not careful. But Nathan Stapleton, to your point, Josh, trying to hold on to these tires, and tire wear is definitely going to come into effect in a race like this, and that has been the case for all these guys, and I think that's why we're seeing these guys run single file a little bit more. And both Keys and Stapleton have been able to keep that gap on Ludovic Charette for the time being. It's a difficult place, like you said, Josh, to make a pass. Nathan Stapleton has done an excellent job pulling away in this race. Had a great start to get around Stuart Gratton and pull away, but Blaine Keys still has an opportunity of winning this race. And Blaine is still right there, and if he's going to get the right opportunity, he's going to take it as he tries to get his 30th career win on the channel here today. And also extend that points lead. He's got 19 points on Logan Williams, got 39 points on Stuart Gratton. Well, he's going to extend that regardless if he finishes 1st or 2nd. This is the closest he's been across the line all race long to the back bumper of Nathan Stapleton. He might have a shot at taking the lead right here on this lap.
We're going to have to figure out, did Nathan run out of his tires? Is he just lost it, or is this just Blaine Keys finally figuring out the groove? He did look lower than him on that turn. I think he's gearing up for the pass, which at this point, those guys might want to start straightening it out soon, because Keys and Stapleton might be side by side going into turn 3 here. Nope. Keys might. Alright, this might be the patient game out of Blaine Keys. Won't be surprised. All he needs to do is beat him across the line, but that didn't look like a couple of... Yeah, he's starting to get
a struggle spot for Blaine in this race.
Absolutely. Although he did do a great job on it, on those last... It did look like he had a better run on them the last lap, which is what got him to the bumper of Nathan, but yeah, he lost some time there. Not a lot of time, though. It wasn't even, 1/20th of a second, so Blaine's just got to bide his time and hope he can get a really great couple of turns, 1 lap, and that will get him side by side, because barring a wreck, which I don't think is going to happen at this point, because there are only a couple of trouble spots. It would have to be a self-spin at this point, albeit 87 nearly put himself in the wall as soon as I say that. What a surprise. But I think it's really going to come down to whether Blaine Keys can master.
Oh, baby.
Stapleton really had a very odd.
Waited.
Yeah, he had a very odd entry into the corner right there, and Blaine really had to check out of it in that 14 machine on that inside. He went for it, and there's just no grip on the tires if you try that inside lane. And Stapleton has done a masterful job in just faking Keys out in this race and keeping that 14 behind him. And that's awesome to do. That's really awesome to do on a guy like Blaine Keys, of all people, and Nathan Stapleton in a GRT car, by the way. Chris Blaine does drive for Team Velocity in the Truck Series. Who am I kidding? He's part of the GRT. You know, half of us are part of the GRT Alliance, you know? But this 14 machine still has a lot more of an opportunity to get around the 63. I think Blaine is faster. It's just a matter of finding the right opportunity to pass the 63 for this race win. But Nathan Stapleton, this is a huge deal for him. If he can win this race, it'll be a huge win for Nathan. If he can pull this one off here at his home racetrack, the greatest racetrack in the world, and be able to do it there for Gradden Racing Technologies would be pretty cool as well. Matt Tuck would get the win as an owner if Stapleton could, in fact, pull this off here today. But he's got to beat Blaine Keys, and Blaine closed right back in on the back bumper of the 63, and he's still going to have an opportunity at this one here. Whoa, Hubert way wide in the turn number one. He got shuffled out of line there by Leonard Koshmer's going to lose another spot to Zidell. And he may lose even another spot there to Stuart Gratton as the tires are giving out back in here. Thomas Troxell's found himself in the top 10, and Baranauskas still holding on in the in-season tournament, and she's got a huge lead now on Logan Williams. So it would take a mechanical failure at this point for her to lose the in-season tournament. What an upset there for Baranauskas. And she's able to claw her way through. She beats Stuart Gratton, Nathan Stapleton, and Blaine Keys. Guess what? They were top 3 at one point in this race. Stuart has slipped back a little bit, but she beat all of them in these races to get herself to this point, and it's looking like she's going to do it again, beating Logan Williams for the in-season tournament championship here in Indianapolis. This race is far from over there. Blaine Keys is right there in this 14 machine, and he's got 4 more laps to get around the 63 for the race win in the Indy 100k.
I believe the last couple of times that Blaine's gotten close, he's been testing Stapleton. I think he definitely should have waited till coming out of turn number 4 the last time. I don't think he's going to make that same mistake again, although, again, he doesn't make the move to the inside of turn 3. Curiously, suspiciously, I wonder if he might have had a little bit of brake trouble getting in there. But that was very interesting. He got that close and didn't make the move to the inside, but he's going to have one heck of a draft heading into turn number 1 this time. We'll see if he makes the move, tucked in behind that 63. And once again, I guess he's just waiting. Mm-hmm. So we'll see if he's able to get there. He's now within a tenth of a second of him.
Yeah, that was the closest he's been all race long across the line right there. He just can't quite get the run to be able to make the pass on the inside. And with the tires worn out the way they are, as Leonard Koshmer all of a sudden has found himself in 3rd. That 46 looking really quick. He saved up his stuff here late in the run. Not going to have enough time unless the top 2 tangle. Which, you know, who knows? We've seen some crazy things happen here before. Matthew Hubert also shuffling to the inside there of Ludovic Charette, and Zidell moving on San Benito, and the tires are giving out on some of these guys faster than others, and it's a lot like that North Wilkesboro race we had on Friday night. The tires gave out faster than some other guys, and we had a very interesting race at the end, and Blaine, once again, going to fall back, and Stapleton now only has 2 laps to win at Indianapolis in the BodyArmor Pro Series in this Indy 100k. What a win it would be for Nathan Stapleton if he can pull it off, and Blaine Keys trying to hold on, but it looks like the tires have given out completely on that 14, and I don't know if he's going to have an opportunity. Koshmer pulling away for 3rd. Hubert and Ludovic are at the top 5 now. Baranauskas of San Benito has slipped all the way to 10th in the 48 machine. His tires really gave out there, and now he's just fighting to even get a point in this race. Logan Williams still way too far behind the number 1 machine to have an opportunity at the in-season tournament championship. Here we go, 1 lap to go in the Indy 100k in the BodyArmor Pro Series for Nathan Stapleton and Team Velocity. Will Stapleton get the win at his home racetrack?
Looks like it.
Blaine Keys has got to close in right here, but he lost a lot of ground that last lap, and he's a half a second behind Nathan Stapleton here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and it doesn't look like he's going to have any speed at all on this lap. Nathan Stapleton led all but 1 lap in this race The first lap was led by Stuart Gratton. Nathan Stapleton led the next 24. A dominating performance out of the Indiana native here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Blaine's going to give it one more shot, but he's too far behind. And Nathan Stapleton is going to kiss the bricks here today at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in the BodyArmor Pro Series. Nathan Stapleton is going to win the Indy 100k here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And for the in-season tournament, Audra Baranauskas, defending Indy 250 winner, gets the $25 prize and wins the BodyArmor Pro Series in-season tournament.
Miracles do happen.
Beat the 5th seed, beat the 13th seed Nathan Stapleton, 5th seed was Stuart Gratton, beat the 1 seed Blaine Keys, and now this week beats the 2 seed Logan Williams. Congratulations.
And a big congratulations to Nathan Stapleton, winner of the Indy 100k. That was a masterful job done by Stapleton in this race. And the only driver who's going to get more points than Blaine Keys here today, Blaine Keys, that's his 7th top 5 of the season. And he will extend his points lead heading into Le Mans, a place that he won at last year in a couple of weeks here in the BodyArmor Pro Series. But how about that for Nathan Stapleton? What a drive. The Indiana native from the outside pole gets the win here in the Indy 100k. Oh, we forgot to show you guys the fastest laps and how they'll start at Le Mans. Leonard Kochmer is going to start on the pole with Juan Romero with the 2nd fastest time. Then you got Nicholas Amedeo, Blaine Keys, and Matthew Huber at the top 5. Nathan Stapleton with the 7th quickest time here today in Indianapolis. Take a look at the rest of the fastest laps right there. That's how they will line up for the Grand Prix of Le Mans on June 13th, I do believe. Whichever the Friday before, June 13th. That is when we're doing it. So about a month from now when we got our next race here in the Pro Series there. But classic race in the Pro Series at Circuit de la Sarthe in Le Mans, France. Well, what a race that was. Nathan Stapleton gets it done ahead of Blaine Keys, and what a driver to beat in a race. And let me see, how many wins is that for Nathan Stapleton on the channel? You might know this. You might get this before I do, Eddie. We'll see. But
16?
What a 16.
16.
So that's his 16th career win, or he had 16 prior, and
he had 15 prior, so
this
would
is
be
his 16th career win as a
16.
driver on the channel. So congratulations, Stapleton, on that one. But Josh, welcome back to the booth. Of course, what a race to come back to the booth on. But Nathan Stapleton gets it done here in Indianapolis, and definitely a huge win for the Indiana native. He gets to kiss the bricks here in Indianapolis in the BodyArmor Pro Series.
Yeah, I honestly thought Blaine was going to get him that last time. But Blaine, he got close 3 different times there, and evidently that last time was the charm, was not able to get closed back in. A masterful display of defensive driving by Nathan Stapleton, particularly that time diming off of the outside, down to the apex of 4, cutting off Blaine's momentum, forcing him to get out of the gas, and then beating him back to the gas coming out of the corner. Just a superb performance by the driver of that 63. And definitely, now with this victory today, somebody perhaps to watch going forward for the rest of this season?
Mm-hmm. He could definitely have a good opportunity at it. We'll have to see. I mean, Blaine, though. Blaine still got 18 points to add on. He's got 130 total points now. Keep in mind, when Drew Webb won the championship last year in the BodyArmor Pro Series, 15 race season, same exact points format. He won the title with, I think, 108 points. Blaine already has 22 more points than that. And we still have ourselves a long ways left to go. It was a 15-race season last year, though. We're only 10 races in, and that's what Blaine has. He has been lights out. He won the first 3 races of the season. He hasn't won since then, but he's been up there, and he is definitely the favorite to win this championship once we move on into December. And Eddie, what a race here. I know you watch this series a lot. You've seen a lot of these races. What are your takeaways from Stapleton getting this win, and Audra Baranauskas winning the in-season tournament here today at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway?
Well, first say is I was wrong. I thought Blaine Keys really wanted this race. It's clear to me Nathan Stapleton wanted the hometown win, and he got it. Starting second, and, I mean, he passed Stuart Gratton, and that was all he needed to do. And then he was gone. He was just gone. Blaine could do nothing about it. Blaine, I think, made a couple of risk or reward moves, and Nathan just shut the door on him. So huge win for him. Of course, Blaine Keys finishing second does mean everyone is now, a full race of points outside of passing him. So he's still in the driver's seat for this championship. Coxmer, Hubert, and Charette getting good runs. Nicholas Amadeo really could have used something better than what he got. But for Audra Baranauskas, Indy 250 winner, you're coming into this race, you're coming into this season, everyone is completely writing you off, and then just to do something like this, win the in-season tournament. I don't even know how many points she scored in the in-season tournament over these 4 races. All that matters is, she only has 1 top 5 so far this season. She has 18 points in total, but it did not matter. All she needed to do was beat the person she needed to, and honestly, and if I'm being honest, this is kind of exactly what you want as a driver, to just show your talent. Like, if you can prove, in my personal opinion, that you know who you need to beat and you can beat them, then you've got some sort of talent. So huge day for Audra. Of course, it had to happen at this track, a track that's been so great to her on many occasions, that she would end up winning the in-season tournament. And hey, I want to bring it back to a March Madness analogy. Nathan Stapleton gets Sweet 16, Audra Baranauskas breaks all our brackets, and Indianapolis is still one of the best racetracks on the planet.
Mm-hmm. Definitely was an interesting race. Not probably the least chaotic race we've had all season, but definitely a fun one. It's always special when we come here to Indianapolis, and hey, it's going to be special on Saturday. Baranauskas starts deep in the field. She was in that last 9 shootout. She barely even qualified her way in, so we'll see. We'll see. She's got a little bit of magic this week, winning the in-season tournament here in the BodyArmor Pro Series. We'll see what she can do on Saturday. And, you got some other guys in that race, like Ladovic Charette. Justin Zaidel is running in that. Thomas Troxel, Nicholas Samadeo. They're all running in the race. Carson Miller, Logan Williams, Ace Garcia is running. And then we also have ourselves Alonso in that race as well. And John Andrews and Brendan Wilmington, they have their drivers in the series. They're also running on Saturday too. Going to be a lot of fun seeing who gets the Indy 250 win. This will be the last time you guys are in the booth before we get to that race. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys an opportunity to make some picks. Who do you guys think is going to win the Indianapolis 250 on Saturday? And, how do you think the race is going to go down? 12th running of this race is going to be a big one in just a few days.
You know what? I want to say Duncan Ward, but I'm not going to, because I know that every time I'm going to try and hype up Duncan, he's always going to find a way to dampen my expectations. So I have to ask Alex, is Zachary Fitzwater in the Indy 250?
He is.
Well, if there was ever a time for someone to get a big win, I think Fitzwater would love to have his I know he's ending his career at the end of this year. It's the Indy 250. I would say it's a race where it's who wants it more, and I think Zachary Fitzwater might want it more than anyone else on that grid. So why not? If this comes back to jinx me, I will take the blame for it entirely, but I think Zachary Fitzwater should be a threat no matter where he's starting, and I'm going to say might as well. Might as well.
Well, we'll all agree that he'll be a threat, but I apologize if this is predictable, but I am going to pick the winner of the very last Indianapolis 250 here at this Speedway. I'm going to pick Audra Baranauskas to be the first 3-time winner in the race's history.
Hey, Nicholas Samadeo wants to be that too. He can do it as well, and he starts a little bit further up. So we'll see. We'll see how it works out. Hey, Saturday noon Eastern time is Indy 250. But we've got a bunch of great stuff coming up until that point. Tomorrow we're going to have qualifying for the Freedom 50. Caleb's running that race. Oh boy, the Freedom 50, that thing is so much fun. I really wish they did not get rid of the real life one. a few years ago. That is such a shame that they do not have the Freedom 100 anymore, because that would cook so much. But hey, the Freedom 50 is going to cook, and you know it's going to be great, and we are excited for that. That race is Friday at noon. We got the Coke 600 later that night in the Wall Cup Series, and hey, our very own Nathan Stablin going to be running the Little 250 at Anderson Speedway just up the road from here on Thursday night. That is going to be a lot of fun. 44 late models, all custom. Y'all did. I got Benny Watson in the race. Benny Watson's going to be in that race. That's how fun it's going to be. And we're going to have a lot of fun with that on Thursday night as we lead up to the biggest race of the year on the channel, the Indianapolis 250, right here, noon Eastern Time on AG the channel. Well, huge thanks to Josh Williamson and Eddie Debs for calling this race along with me here today. Here are the points for the BodyArmor Pro Series after 10 races. Congratulations to Nathan Stapleton for winning the Indy 250, Indy 100k. Everything to me is the Indy 250. I call the real life race the Indy 250. And congratulations to Audra Baranauskas for winning the in-season tournament here in the BodyArmor Pro Series. I'll be hitting you up, William, in just a moment with the prize. So congratulations on that one. A huge thanks to Nathan Stapleton once again. Here are the points, and we'll see you guys on Saturday for the Indianapolis 250 right here on AG the channel. I will see you guys later.